an actual test, but I will deal with just a little bit of politics of all things on this one. So we'll see what happens. If you're interested, come on in. If not, tune out. But I'm testing cameras, music, you name it. And we'll have a little bit of information to go with it. See you right back. All right. If you're tuned in, I really appreciate it. I am back with a little bit of I'm old school in it here at Black Spring, but I'm not using all the tools. So thank you so much for tuning in. But I just want to have a look at something here. I'm also just kind of playing around with some settings here. So I do appreciate you guys per usual. Let's see. But I'm going to look at a actual report that actually comes from thefederalist.com. So if you don't mind, I am kind of going to switch off something here and then switch over something else. So here we go. Yeah, this is why we do tests around here, just to see what happens here. So I come back with no screen, but I want to look at this a liner that I'm seeing. And also something out of the We Forum for sure. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're around, I appreciate it. So what we're going to do is look at this J6 committee to criminalize Republican fundraising. Here we go. Let's see. It says the J6 committee seeks to criminalize Republican fundraising. Okay, so there you have, oh my gosh, Nancy Pelosi. Thank you so much for coming back. And I'm on my regular, apparently I didn't have on my regular camera and now I have on the camera. So things are a little bit more normal per se. Okay. So we're going to have a look here at this J6 article here. Let's see what's happening there. Hi, GJ Vision Barnett. Thank you so much for tuning in. On this one, according to this, if crying, quote, rigged election, end quote, were a crime, the entire Democrat Party and much of the media establishment would be in prison. After spying on the communications of members of Congress, seizing bank records of Americans engaged in a peaceful protest, fabricating evidence against political opponents, and threatening freedom of the press, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's hand-picked Jan 6 committee has told media allies it will try to criminalize the act of Republican raising funds for safeguarding elections. The latest abuse of power from the norm-breaking committee was revealed earlier this week in a one-sided report from the committee's propaganda arm at the Washington Post. The committee, composed exclusively of Democrat-appointed members, is seeking access to the private financial records of its political opponents and the donors who support them as part of an unprecedented effort to claim that fundraising in support of election integrity may constitute wire fraud. Officials with the committee said the day's events cannot be viewed in vacuum and argued that the fundraising and political appeals that happened in the month leading up to Jan 6, 2021 are a reason the pro-Trump mob stormed the Capitol. Quote, these people knew the claims they were making about the election were false, but still sent emails anyway because it was an effective way to raise money, end quote, a person familiar with the investigation said. There are several major problems with this latest scheme from the committee to redefine legitimate election integrity concerns as knowingly false claims of stolen elections. First, it is yet another brazen assault on the First Amendment rights of speech and political assembly. Second, it was not, in fact, false to say that the 2020 election was riddled with problems. On the contrary, it is conspiracy theory to say it didn't have major problems given the exorbitantly funded, widespread, and coordinated takeover of government election offices by Mark Zuckerberg-funded liberal groups to run Democrat get-out-the-vote operations. Hundreds of last-minute changes to the election laws and procedures were pushed through, sometimes constitutionally, sometimes not, to intentionally flood the zone with tens of millions of mail-in ballots. That's to say nothing of press that engaged in blatant propaganda for its political allies and against its political foes, and tech companies that meddled throughout the 2020 election with algorithmic manipulation, the deplatforming of most effective conservative commentators, communicators in Democrat-led censorship of stories harmful to political allies. Okay, so there's your one story there. I'm not sure if this is a continuation of that same one, but no, it's not. Look, it's pretty healthy in terms of that, but it's not going to stop. It's just not going to stop. Let's see. Here we go. Just zooming in here just a little bit here. Let's see who's here. Still, Marty Lauderdale's here. Thank you again. And DJ Vision Barnett's here. DJ Vision Barnett said Ted Cruz is a traitor and we need to expose him. And Marty Lauderdale says, wow, their criminal and dirty tactics are mind-blowing. I just have no idea. I think, guys, that they keep, it's almost like they put out these X amount of politicians. Okay, we could say they put out Dr. Rand Paul. Then they put out Ted Cruz, and maybe one other. There's another guy. I can't think of his name right now, but they used to trot out, what's his name? I used to think Jim Jordan. They trot these people out for political theater. And then nothing gets done. They just keep looping the same things. You had Dr. Rand Paul going at Farsi Fauci all the time. Yet what did that do? So it's just that, to me, it's not enough. To exposing these people is not justice. It's not doing anything. He's still running free. As a matter of fact, where is Dr. Fauci? Does anybody know? Has anybody seen him? I haven't. It's like he's out of the way. Like he's gone completely. And I mean, just because at one point you couldn't stop these people from making comments or giving advice, and all of a sudden they're gone. But I did read you something earlier where there's supposed to be a new Omicron, a Delta Omicron variant. Something is on the scene already. I think I was researching it and I had to get off of it. It's a Delta Omicron hybrid identified for the first time. That's what it was. And that was coming from Live Science. Let's go over there real quick. Who knows? They might try to ding me for medical misbehaving. So yeah, but see, I've already said, there's already a fourth Jabberwocky in the making. I think I'm not sure if it's approved already. I forgot, but I know it's already on the books. Okay. Yeah, it is. So we'll just come out of that one really quickly, but yeah. And I think that's, what was it? They're going to let the J thing die. They're going to use that. They're going to use that as now, not only are they don't let a crisis go to waste, don't let a manufactured crisis go to waste, because if you manufacture it, you got to figure out a way to keep it going. So they're going to just perpetually use that Jan 6 to keep going. They'll create, the crisis will have a crisis. Okay. That's what happens. Manufactured crisis will have a manufactured crisis. Okay. So this is what I was looking at. Beat it. This is livescience.com. It says the Delta Omicron hybrid variant identified for the first time. I don't know where it is, but according to this, sorry about these ads, the cases have been reported in both Europe and the US. So when people think, we're going to go back to normal, I'm going to do what I want to do. And it's blessed, as they say, bless their socks, bless their cotton socks. No. There's too much influence. There's too much power. There's power, influence, all of that wrapped up in this thing. There's no way this thing is going away. It's these midterms, or you're getting a midterm reprieve. Was what you're getting. You're getting a midterm little break in there. So according to this, for the Uncle algorithms that out there listening to me, the scientists have confirmed the existence of a new CV19 variant that combines mutations for both. It combines both the Omicron and the Delta for the first time. And there are cases reported cases in both the US and Europe at this time. So I'm not going to read all of this stuff. I just wanted you to know that they're revving it up again. And I don't know, I guess all the way to Marseille, France has been detected in several regions. This new hybrid variant. It's unofficially dubbed Deltacron. So you just start putting stuff. You see wordsmithing here. There you go. Looks like I have 6 people. There are 4 people now in the background. And Marty Lauderdale says, "Yep, they're all talk. Can't stand Jordan." I see Jordan. He accepted money from big tech, and he admitted it. I think Tucker Carlson called him out for it, and he was like, "If they want to give me money, I'm going to take it." Really? So I was like, no. Okay, absolutely. I will do it right now. JFB, nice to see you back here. We're going to put it right out here. Yes. So we should have a contest. Give us your best variant. Give us your best variant name. Yep. We'll take it. And there you go. That's for you. Live science. JFB says the rumors of Deltacron several months ago that were all BS. I want to check this latest rumor out. Marty Lauderdale says, "I have a couple others I'll recommend later. Don't want to spam the chat." Thank you, Marty Lauderdale. I really appreciate it. So just be on the lookout for this. See, this is getting into some science. I'm calling this scientific minutia because they know most people are going to read these articles. Okay, we've talked about this before. We've talked about fundamentally reading and people that are actually going to read these things, and it's so slim. It's so slim, especially on the left. Unofficially dubbed Deltacron. Okay, so this one is not sure what this is. If there's a little video or something, if there's a video here, I might play that. That's what you have. You have this, and it's not a big article. It's just that I don't want to be tossing around all these terms and stuff. So according to this, I'm just jumping in here for a second. Since this new variant is believed to have been circulating since January, according to the GISAID. The WHO. I mean, honestly, the World Health Organization. We've talked about that organization, and you guys already know what I think about that. Mr. Adhanom, their health general, I don't know if that's still his position or not, but he's got a seedy background. So why is the U.S. listening to these people? Why? I mean, that guy he's got his background is far from clean, whether it be Ebola in Africa. I mean, he's been brought up on stuff himself, mishandling other demics before himself. So I don't know why are we listening to, but like I said, I think I told you guys that Fauci was advocating for when he was at the party of Davos, when he was at the meeting last month, I believe. At one of the meetings last month, I think it was Davos, at the We Forum conference, he was advocating for global health governance then. So, he's making appearances like that and staying out of the mainstream media right now, I guess for the midterms. But, they go around sprinkling seeds and fairy dust other places with these elite, Schwab and, Gates, you name it. Joseph Francis Burton says, "I was going by the username Omio Miro Vacron." I remember that. That was pretty dense. Marty Lauderdale says, "These folks all tied to the WEF or the Eco Health Alliance." See, I'm not familiar with the Eco Health Alliance, Marty Lauderdale. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm familiar with the WEF and the UN. But it's almost like the Schwab is basically just getting everything, he's checking boxes, and even kind of bragging about how he's infiltrated cabinets all over the world. Basically giving Trudeau a pat on the back for basically leading millennials. So that's what's going on there, to say the least. So yeah, so Joseph Francis Burton, I remember you were going by the cute puppy dog variant for a while. Yes, you were. You've gone by. You're able to jump in and out. You're able to jump in and out as you want. So I really appreciate that. The other one is the Global Research does a lot of good work, because I think our news is pure propaganda. And don't forget to look out for the pronoun. They're having a pronoun app is coming your way. We found that out from our friends over at CFFS, Citizens for Free Speech. We found that out. Yeah. Okay, so we have a bombshell document dump on the on the one of the mocktails. So if you hop over to Global Research, you'll find some things there too. So yeah, this was actually just going to be a little bit of a test stream, is what I had in mind. Let's see, who do we have here? Marty Lorders, Peter Daszak is with the Eco Health Alliance. He's the one who got funds from the NIH. Oh wow, NIAID, and forwarded to the Woozy Lab. Thank you so much. Yeah, the EHA. I'll look that up for sure. Yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for coming back just for this little test stream. But I don't want to fry you guys. Like I said, there's like so much news, and we were kind of getting a little bit off the. We're getting a little bit off on the last one, but we have to have fun around here. Every now and then we have to have laughs. But I'm just trying to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. Which, I mean, I haven't gotten into any of this currency stuff. But they said that Biden takes a big step towards digital currency, towards backed digital currency. They started support behind further study and development of what would be known as the U.S. central bank digital currency. C'est très let's see. We're gonna do. Let me look at that for a second here. I'm just kind of scanning news at this point here. But yeah, we have to have fun around here. And I have been doing less on the political stuff, but every now and then I'll look at, because it just kind of turns my stomach otherwise. So let's look at this. Let's look at what the digital currency would be here in the States. Here we have Biden takes a big step towards government-backed digital currency. The Biden administration is throwing its support behind further study and development of what would be known as a U.S. central bank digital currency. Okay, let's hear it. A U.S. digital currency could be on the horizon. Are you guys thinking it could be, or do you think it is on the horizon? You can give me the truth. What I'm going to do, just for the heck of it, I don't care. It's the weekend. We work hard. We research hard and we play hard. So if you guys want to chime in here on People's Pendulum, you can do that. With what I'm reading here. The Biden administration is putting its support behind the research and development of a U.S. central bank digital currency, or the CBDC. The move is part of a sweeping executive order President Joe Biden signed Wednesday, instructing the federal government to explore possible uses of and regulation for digital assets like cryptocurrencies. See, let me tell you guys something that I'm kind of starting to catch on. We got a pattern here. Whenever they say, what word are they doing? They're putting support behind the research. Okay, and that the move is part of a sweeping executive order Wednesday, instructing the federal government to explore. See, to me, that's when they want to use that word study. We're going to study this and this, and when they say that, to me, they're already sewing up loopholes for you and I. So you and I we'll be locked and stocked into whatever they're doing. So the study is probably already done. And these executive orders that he's passing, I mean, who knows? And if they're coming up, I don't know if there's any legislation with this, but see, for everything that they say that they're studying, or everything that they say that when they pass these bills, they're full of, it's crushing the people. The people are getting crushed with all this legislation they keep coming up with, because there's so many things are included in there that you and we haven't even thought of it. We haven't thought of it, but they're covering every loophole. Shout out to you, Marty Lauderdale. I'm saying every time they do something, people look up and say, well, how did we get here? That's because whatever they passed, it's not just one thing that they're going to do. They're creating things for, it covers even things in the future, or for way for people to contest things. Like, it's not for the people. None of this stuff is for the people. It's going to be against the people is what it's going to be. It's going to be the opposite of, for the people. Whatever it is going to be opposite. And they always name it some kind of virtuous name. Like they say Planned Parenthood, when if you're planning something that's planned, then they try to make it sound like they put a virtuous front on it, but it's actually going to be the opposite, Okay. So we'll keep going here. Quote, my administration places the highest urgency on research. See, here it is. See, research and development efforts into the potential design and deployment of options of a United States CBDC, end quote, the executive order reads. See, that's what I'm talking about. When they say research and development, that means they are studying. They basically pretty much have got this thing already written in my mind. And when it comes out, it'll be some almost 3,000 page something. And it'll cover any opposition. It'll crush any opposition from you or we, the people. It'll crush it. Okay, and that's me. That's my thesis there. You've seen it already. You've seen it. What is it? The Patriot Act and all these things. You see, it's that virtuous name on there, the Patriot Act, when it's actually quite anti. See that? Okay, and then according to this, the order asks for a wide variety of agencies to begin. See, it's also going to put some protections in there for them. They're going to protect themselves. They're going to use the laws. I tell you, we have been majorly deceived, like galactically deceived, because those agencies are going to protect themselves. They ask for a wide variety of agencies to begin research and submit reports. And to me, that's synonymous with protections for yourself for what we're going to do. What kind of surveillance are they going to have on these accounts? What kind? They already can go in there already, right? And look at, they're already, what was it, the rule that they came out with earlier this year for those who are using, the Cash Apps and some of these other apps? They were going to make it prevent you, like if you made over $600 or something, they want to tax you for that, for the use of those apps, for the money's earned on those apps. Like they're reaching in your pocket and squeezing your leg all the time, looking for more money, looking for more taxes. I think pretty soon to complain about taxes is going to be against the law. Look at it. We're dealing with some heavy-handed stuff here. Our neighbors to the north felt it on that, last month or a few weeks ago. What heavy-handed, what they'll do, what they're willing to do, and the language they'll use against you. People talk about Orwell's, 1984, but they don't talk about his book, his book on English, the English language. But it's pretty deceptive. And a lot of people buy into it because they think it's elite and it makes them feel smart. Oh, we're gonna repeat the wet dreams of the left and the elite. Oh, there's too many people on Earth, so we gotta, let's do this. Let's do this for the environment. Let's do this. I'm gonna be vegan, I'm gonna stop now. Okay, so let me backtrack here. The order asks for a wide variety of agencies to begin research and submit reports on a variety of issues surrounding digital currencies, from design and security to financial and societal impact. So you see that's key. That societal stuff, that's where they're crushing us the most. They are crushing us the most when it comes to, they are crushing society. Ruining it because they're so studious. They study so much, they fail us. Their commission studies so much, they fail the people. People are set up for failure, not success. They're creating a nanny state, welfare states. And I didn't even watch that State of the Union address. I never saw so much patriotism, so much nationalism for another country in my life from the clips that I did see. So I know I didn't want, no, I guess I didn't miss anything, because it's all flipped the narrative. They've run out of lies. So now they got to start using the other part, the opposite side of the other paradigm's rules. Now they got to start playing, they got to project themselves under the guise of something else. When they figure out they need to fire themselves, they start using Republican and conservative values and slogans. They fire themselves and find somebody else to be. Steal somebody else's identity. Let's see. Steal the other lines. Let's steal the other line, the other party line. How about that? All right, I'm going to keep going here, guys. Forgive me. I get a little bit ranty sometimes. That's why I kind of stay away from some of the political stuff sometimes, because it gets to be a little bit frustrating. Okay, and this might even be a little bit of a little clip here. We'll play that for you. We'll play it. I'm going to play it right now. Let's see what we got. Here's an explanation, they say. I don't hear anything.
These days, cryptocurrency is going mainstream.
Fortune favors the brave.
Stars like Matt Damon, Paris Hilton, Megan Thee Stallion, all pushing crypto in sponsorships. Hey, hotties, let's talk about Bitcoin.
Oh my God, no. I hope that's not what they were trying to do. That can't be it. We'll just move on from that. We'll just go. Okay, we'll do hip hop and popular culture later. But quote, we know the implications of potentially issuing a digital dollar are profound. They're extraordinarily wide-ranging, end quote. A senior administrator told reporters on a call Tuesday. Although a U.S. digital currency would not necessarily change much in terms of everyday experiences, like buying goods and services, economists say it would transform central and commercial banking, as well as government sanctions, banking accessible, and taxes. See, I honestly, quote, the potential here is enormous, and it's very interesting, end quote, said David Urmack, a professor in the chair of finance department at NYU, New York University. The executive order will call on the government to investigate the technical needs for a digital currency and advocate for the Federal Reserve to continue its research and development, according to a fact sheet released by the White House. The Fed published a white paper in January about potentially creating a CBDC that would complement existing payment systems. It found that a CBDC could make payments cheaper and easier for consumers, but might also pose a risk to the stability of the U.S. financial system. In its fact sheet, the administration said it would also take steps to mitigate the illicit finance and national security risk posed by the illicit use of digital access by directing an unprecedented focus on coordinated across all relevant U.S. government agencies to mitigate these risks, end quote. The U.S. would not be the first country with a digital currency. Here we go. China has introduced its own CBDC with more than 140 million people having opened digital, quote, wallets, end quote. And many other countries have either rolled out or are developing digital currencies. The Bahamas Sand Dollar is considered among the world's most successful digital currencies. Yermak said the move by the Biden administration pointed to what he believes is certainly inevitably of the broader move toward digital currencies. Quote, it's not a question of when, a question of, but when, end quote, he said. Quote, once the central banks start co-opting the technology, it's pretty much game over, end quote. While the administration fact sheet did not provide any details about how a U.S. digital currency might work, Yermak suggested that the functionality could be reasonably simple, with transactions flowing directly to and from the Fed, sidestepping banks and payment systems and creating near seamless flows of cash. It is a simple concept with the potential for widespread ramifications. Yermak said a broadly embraced digital currency would pose existential questions for banks and many other financial services focused on facilitating payments. Here we go. Bill Gates, quote, Bill Gates famously said, there will always be banking, but will there not always be banks, end quote, Yermak said. Digital currencies also open up new policies for how the government exercises policy, said Michael Bordeaux, a professor of economics and the director of the Center for Monetary and Financial History at Rutgers University in New Jersey. Quote, a digital currency could make the kind of stimulus payments of the coronavirus pandemic nearly instantaneous and far more efficient, he said, possibly even reaching people who have previously been shut out of banking services. Bordeaux pointed to the Bahamas digital currency as an example of how the unbanked can benefit. Quote, they found that it really worked, and they came up with ways to make it real simple because there's a lot of very low income people who don't have bank accounts, end quote, Bordeaux said. See, here you go. They're always trying to go down to try to pretend like they're appealing to the lowest common denominator here. The humanitarian in them comes out for everything. In addition to the consumer benefits, a U.S. digital currency would offer the Fed a new tool that economists have previously only theorized about: negative interest rates. Controlling rates is the Fed's primary way to stimulate or cool the economy, but it comes with limits. Banks can drop interest rates on regular money only so low, known as the zero bound, leaving central banks with few options when interest rates are already low and the economy needs a boost. With a digital currency, the zero bound does not exist, allowing for aggressive action when needed. If the cash is electronic, the government can just erase 2% of your money every year, Yermak said. I think this is going to become a necessity just because of the demographic changes in the world, end quote. Bordeaux also pointed to negative rates as an important feature of digital currencies. Quote, I think it's something that could be a game changer for the Fed, end quote, he said. For all the theoretical possibilities, a U.S. digital currency faces plenty of real hurdles. Bordeaux noted that the commercial banks have vested interest in opposing the technology. Quote, getting this thing through is going to be a big project, end quote, he said. Still, the broader momentum for government-backed digital currencies is growing. Yermak said that he has advised major governments looking to start their own currencies, and that as more countries adopt their own, quote, the others are probably going to fall into line pretty quickly, end quote. 2 years ago, everyone was ridiculing this, end quote, Yermak said. Quote, now it's the hot thing to do. Look out, people. Look out. Marty Lauderdale says, it's frustrating, a bit overwhelming some days. I'm so grateful for the amazing discernment and wisdom God is giving me through these times. Amen. Amen, Marty Lauderdale. Oh, boy. It's certainly a vision, a view that many people don't have. They're so of the world. And they're very much in it. They're very much in it. Okay. I'm probably getting that inverse, but I think they're very much, some of these people would rather have what's going on here than anything else. Okay. They'd rather be They'd rather be of the world than anywhere else. Okay. Marty Lauderdale says it's almost harder knowing exactly what's happening and unable to stop it versus not knowing and just being oblivious to it all. Probably easier not knowing. Still, I always seek the truth. And Marty Lauderdale says, wow, yep, they're always acting so virtuous. Yeah. And pushing us off the cliff at the same time. But yeah, I wasn't going to play this cryptocurrency stuff. But they want to be able to, I think it's a matter of control is what they're looking for. And if they can't control it the way they want, I think they won't go for it. I mean, to me, I think that's what's slowing them. That's probably the opposition, I think, or what would slow them down is that they can't control it the way, if they can't control it, then they're not a fan of it. Yeah, that's what I think. So there we go. I want to thank you guys so much for coming back. And this is a test, but kind of informative. And I appreciate you so much. And Marty Lauderdale, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. She says, yes, it is a big project. Thus, why they have to distract us with wars and pandemics till they have all their infrastructures, et cetera, in place to bring all features of their plan. Yes, absolutely. And see, that's what I'm saying. The fact that they're just now announcing it, that does not mean that they've just started. They didn't just start working on that. They announced it. If their people are doing research, that means they've already studied how to get the most out of you and me. Okay, that's what they've done. They're so studious that they fail us. They do. Hi, Luciano. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, DJ Vision Barnett, for coming in. I appreciate it. This is the second stream of the day. So I'm definitely hitting a 3.5 hours, almost, 3.5 hours of streaming today. But there is a lot of news out there. And some of it I haven't been able to, because I'm maybe streaming once, maybe twice a week. The mobile, I seem to have gotten a lot in, but it's nice to see you guys around here. Joseph Francis Burton came in. Thank you so much for supporting us again in the way that you do. Keeping us on our toes, as well as thank you so much, Marty Lauderdale, for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting us. And Luciano, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Great rest of your Sunday. So I'm going to be saying so long, and I'll see you guys around.